Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for being with us today. We're going to have a conversation about force-on-force training. What is it? What are some of the experiences that we've had with force-on-force training? And why do we use force-on-force training in our Wilco Training Solutions products? We're thankful to be joined by two of our Wilco team members. And as always, happy to have their perspective and their opinions inside of this conversation. Please feel free to leave us a comment, like, and subscribe on YouTube, Spotify, Twitter, all of the social media apparatus. And if you've got an idea for something that you think we need to be talking about, please drop a comment down below. Without further ado, thank you so much once again, and enjoy the conversation. Okay, let everyone know they're being included. Yeah, and if you have any questions about that, you can reference Microsoft's privacy policy. It's a short read. They're selling it to everyone. No, we love Microsoft. Okay, so thankful to have Dusty with Wilco and Connells from Wilco here with us. We wanted to have a short conversation about force-on-force training, or using simunitions or ultimate training munitions, or the force-on-force munitions, basically non-lethal training ammunition in our products currently, and then in the past, some of the force-on-force training that we've experienced, how it impacted us, and why do we include it in our products. We'll go ahead and get started. I wanted to pick you guys' brains about your personal experiences with using non-lethal training ammunition in your previous jobs. We all kind of come from the same place, so, and we've talked about it. I know that you've used it before. For those that don't know what the non-lethal training ammunition is, it's essentially the way we use it. We convert our real firearms into we use UTM products, Ultimate Training Munitions, and it fires a projectile that, kind of like paintball, it fires a plastic projectile that whenever it hits the intended target, it leaves a small indicator or a piece of paint there that shows you where you're impacting. So they are, again, non-lethal. If you use them in the incorrect way, you could get hurt. So we use eye protection and face protection with some of the conversions that we use. We have pistol conversions and we have rifle conversions that fire a 9mm round and then a 5.56 round. I recall, I'll go ahead and start us off. I recall the first times that I was immersed in some of this force-on-force training, and what our trainer did was they put two individuals in a small room, and we dueled at 10 meters apart with pistols only, and you were given a 10-round magazine, and the other individual was given a 10-round magazine. You hit the timer, and then you go until somebody gets a headshot. And you got to witness, first off, the pain of getting hit with the non-lethal training ammunition, the UTMs in that case. But you also got to see 9 times out of 10, the individual that was the most aggressive was going to win the fight. Also, you got to witness the folks that had a grasp of the firearm fundamentals and the folks that maybe did not, or were still learning those firearm fundamentals. Speed and accuracy were paramount, obviously, but that was my first real dip into using non-lethal training ammunition, and then going through and doing runs in the house and doing close quarters battle and close quarters combat scenarios with reactive targets, and then ultimately progressing into an opposition force, or OP4, that was shooting back at you. What a game changer, you know. So to be able to get, and we'll talk a little bit more about that methodology and why it works here in just a minute. But I wanted to ask, uh, Nate, we'll start off with you if you want to go second here. What was your, doesn't necessarily have to be your first experience, but your standout experience with non-lethal training ammunition in training?
Well, I was right there with you when we started doing the UTM and the simunition stuff. Really heavy. I mean, tens of thousands of rounds. It's funny you said it leaves a little marker. It also leaves a well too, depending on where you get hit. Uh, but anyway, yeah, I think what you mentioned, reinforcing firearm fundamentals, not only trigger discipline, trigger control, grip, all of those come into play. But also, even if you're doing a simulated force on force encounter, the biggest eye-opening thing for me was how much it reinforces your muzzle discipline. Because you mix the trigger with the bad muzzle, bad trigger discipline, bad muzzle discipline, a round's going out of that chamber and or out of that barrel, and it's gonna hit one of your teammates potentially, or an instructor or somebody.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then moving. Whenever we did it, obviously we'd be in our full kit, but continuing to move through getting shot at, that is something that is trained. Because initially, I mean, you mentioned paintball or airsoft or whatever people do, can't really feel those. These ones you can. So you get shot, say in the stomach. Is that deadly? Potentially on you. Can you continue to fight? Absolutely, you can. So,
right.
Your first, if you've never been hit with a simunition, your first thing is to kind of, you stop. You've been hit. You're like, oh gosh. And I remember when we first started, guys that hadn't done it a lot, they'd almost like put their hand out, and be like, I'm hit, I'm done. But this isn't a game. It's not a game. So you're hit. Fine. We want to treat it realistic. You got shot in the leg. Get on the ground, put a tourniquet on right now, and then I'll meet you in the other room. Like, let's go. But especially when we would wear body armor, good shots to the chest. Okay, well, I got plates, so continue to move, clear your corner, and then in the stuff that you teach in SRT, assess if you need to put a tourniquet on, or if you can continue to go eliminate that threat, you need to push through it. So that was pretty eye-opening at first.
Definitely. Yeah, definitely. And the repetitions that you get after taking a hit with the non-lethal training ammunition, like you mentioned, running through, addressing it medically, ready to get a tourniquet on. All right, well, this scene's not secure yet. Like you need to fight to survive to be able to address the wound that you've just sustained or the casualty that you've just sustained. Just the repetitions like that.
And one last thing on that too, it brings on various follow-on learning points. So you used to see guys in the Army, okay, I got a tourniquet right here. Well, if you get shot in the right arm, I can't get it. So now I'm looking at, I've seen people put tourniquets on their buttstock. That's a good one. Usually, you're not going to lose your rifle, hopefully. That's why, belt line, center, however you do it, you need to be able to get to it with both arms. And then I know on previous discussion, Dusty had brought this up, alternate ways of reloading your pistol. If I'm right-handed and I reload with my left hand, well, my left hand's down. Okay, well, I only got one hand, so how are we going to reload? So a lot of follow-on learning points from doing force on force.
Certainly. Yeah, certainly. Excellent, excellent example. Dusty, what about you, man? What was your standout?
Well, I'll just reiterate what Nate said. I've had several occasions where we go like named exercises and we have large force on forces where we'll have dedicated op for that's a generally large fighting force. And I think the first time you, like Nate said, the first time you get shot, it's like, oh shit. Oh, excuse me. We'll edit that out in post.
Yeah.
Oh man, that hurt.
Yeah.
Oh man, and you hesitate almost, and getting those repetitions of you do hesitate. There is no almost. Everyone that gets shot for the first time is like, man, that hurt. What am I doing? And
Yeah.
it's like you have a blank screen. So
Especially if you get hit right below the belt.
exactly, or the face or the neck, you're like, oh man.
Yeah.
Um, so getting that repetition and pushing through that and continuing, because walking through CQB drills dry in a kit without shooting and where you're shooting on paper targets is one thing, but then to actually come around a corner and see a human being that shoots you in the face with a sim round, it's a different kind of experience.
Different beast, certainly.
Yeah. So I think the having the threat there of physical violence or physical harm to yourself is a valuable repetition, and that was one of the biggest eye-opening things. Another thing that was eye-opening to me is how far you can actually shoot someone from with that
Yeah.
5% conversion.
Oh boy, you're right. Good grief.
You can reach
Think,
out and touch somebody.
Yeah, I can't
one
even
thing,
see anybody and I'm getting tagged. Yeah.
Yeah.
well, one thing to Dusty's point too, and you know, from the methodologies and the ways that you train and gather data, whenever we see someone get on a timer, what happens? It's like
Mhm.
we just forgot everything. Like, well, now you're rushing. Your brain's thinking
Yeah.
too quick. Same
Obviously,
thing
I
if you've
didn't
ever,
understand the course of fire.
Yeah,
yeah,
I love that pass.
if
Oh
if
man.
you've ever shot an IPSC match, you just want to go fast, but that's not going to help you. You're better off going a little bit slower and being accurate if you know how the scoring works, because now you're
Yeah.
like, I'm not even in a class because they don't even have it. But my point to those two
Yeah.
things is it also
Unclassified
changes
again.
it also changes knowing force on force. That if you're in there with teammates, people on your team, you got to be very, very careful and target positively identifying your target. One of the fundamentals becomes crucial because you get all amped up because you can't help it, because there's potentially someone that can shoot back at you. You come around that corner too quick and you just see movement, and it's almost like you see red, but you can't. You got to train yourself. Okay, that's my teammate. Oof,
Mhm.
look at hands, look at uniform, or whatever clothes. So that
Mhm.
was
I've
another thing. You get all
I've
amped
put
up going in the house.
yeah, I've put red marker on a blue person before, and that's all that I'll say because I don't want to. But yeah, I've accidentally put the wrong color on the wrong uniform before, and man, that uh, I don't even think I brought it up in the at the AAR. Nate, you may remember it was, hey, why do we have this color on this person? So, and why do we have this color on this person? I don't know who was shooting in at that area. Yeah, we were moving so fast. I don't know. Maybe somebody loaded wrong. That's probably what it was.
Mhm.
Failure to follow direction.
I,
Yeah,
you
we got
know,
I grabbed from the mixed batch of ammunition. My bad.
Exactly. Yeah.
I recall a story, and I was gonna say this after the other point Nate made. I was gonna reiterate that as well. From one of my first experiences was I was actually instructing JTech instructing, and I was sitting in a white cell. We were on top of a building in a mountain village, and students came through, and I mean we're clearly marked with. We were like hanging IR markers off our chest, and it's everybody's under nods, so I know they see these things, and we got white lights on as well while they're going through light discipline. And we just get lit up
Oh,
sitting on top of this building. And the guy that next to me catches one to his glasses, and it shatters his eye pro.
oh.
And I was like, man, that's hey, identify who you're shooting at before you shoot it, please.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, and I hope I'll never make a mistake like that again. I hope, I pray. But what a that kind of an emotional event, which needs to be debriefed if you're having an emotional event after training like that. And I don't even know if I did it, but I was aware that it happened, and I failed to speak up. But you have the opportunity for emotional events in that kind of training. Another last experience that I'll bring up is something that really made us tighten up our shot groups whenever we're doing live fires, having to pay for your misses. And Dusty, you've seen some of it with Wilco, and Nate, you've seen some of it with where we've been as well. And you watch people slow the F down. And you will take, all right, man, you got 2 misses, so pick a buddy and then take your kid off. You can keep a shirt on if you want to. It really doesn't matter. But get 10 meters away and they're going to shoot you 2 times. You have 2 misses and you will pay. What a, like I said, yeah, that'll make people a bit more accurate and a bit more slow or think about what they're shooting
Deliberate.
at and how fast. Yeah, deliberate with their trigger pulls.
So taking these experiences and looking at the Wilco methodology for training, can you speak to that, Clark?
Yeah. So we have this amazing opportunity to use these tools, and drawing on the methodology and being influenced by police, special operations, military, DoD, after action reports, as well as wonderful pieces of literature from folks like Dave Grossman and Lauren Christensen, and the stuff that they've unpacked with warrior science and stuff like that. We have the opportunity to train that way. It's one of the best ways to simulate deadly force encounters, and even to recreate scenarios that have already occurred and to go back and reshoot them with lessons learned or whatever, to the as it makes sense to do. Why not go ahead and train that way? One of the challenges I will say, as far as marketing and as a business owner, part of the business and part of Wilco, is kind of difficult to sell a product to get people to buy something where people are shooting at you. What a challenge. That continues to be our challenge. But the folks that are in the know with regard to training understand the value in that. Like we've just discussed, going through a close quarters battle or CQC scenario where you're shooting paper or doing dry runs, you just take it to a different level, psychologically and physically, whenever you put an armed individual in there that is going to be occupying that space and looking to defend that space, and in a simulated way take your life if you're crossing the threshold there. So we're fortunate, very lucky, and honored to be able to use tools like this in products like SRT 1, 2, and 3. And like Nate, I know you had previous military time where, like, correct me if I'm wrong, you guys didn't use any simunitions in your previous military job like that, so there are a wealth of folks that have not had an experience using non-lethal training ammunition. Welcome to Wilco. Let us, with our crawl, walk, run approach, we've got products geared towards helping folks to experience it in the safest way possible and maximizing learning opportunities.
And the feedback's been overwhelmingly positive. Even in the early iterations, when we're just allowing them to shoot a real person or a reactive target and watch it fall. The conditioning behind it, these students are overwhelmingly providing positive feedback on the training value.
Absolutely. Go ahead, Nate.
I think it's also good because with the 3 different programs, SRT 1, 2, and 3, different groups of people might have administrators. You might have SWAT guys. Who knows? You might have people with, maybe he's a former Green Beret and he's now a school administrator. So there's like a mix. The force on force and simunitions allow you to scale the stress level. It's already stressful enough. Someone, maybe they're like, I've never shot a gun before. This is my first week. It's already inherently stressful. You're about to simulating killing another person. But we can ramp that up to about 100 if you want, based on your comfort level or your experience or whatever. A perfect example is the guys just went to a course and is put on by a former tier 1 medic. So he's a PJ.
Mm-hmm.
They're getting shot at with simunitions while, like, they simulated as real as possible, delivering a baby. Like they had cadavers in there that they ended up like cutting off a leg of a cadaver, but then there's a guy in there and he's talking to you and he's covered with blood. So you can make it as realistic and stressful as you want with simunitions.
Yeah.
So
and
obviously you don't want to recreate and cause trauma prior to an event, but it is going to be traumatic in the course that you're teaching. If God forbid that ever did happen, it could potentially be traumatic. So, but you can scale it, is my point.
Yeah. And just the, to go through the psychological and physiological events that you will go through whenever you meet that universal phobia of interpersonal human aggression. I remember the first time that I got rocketed in a combat zone, and it floored me for a while. People trying to kill you, and you can get that level of immersion with this kind of training. And for folks that have never seen it and will hopefully never see it outside of our training regimen, hopefully, God willing, but to go ahead and get a repetition of seeing that, and then, like you said, Dusty, navigating and dominating a deadly force encounter, watching the body fall because you made it fall, and then processing the ins and outs of those training events with your Wilco cadre. It's so far receives rave reviews, and we will continue to treat it with the respect that it deserves.
And that's what I was going to say. You said Wilco cadre. I was going to bring that up. Knowing that it's already inherently stressful, and knowing when to push the pedal a little bit, back off the gas a little bit.
Yeah.
The last course we were just at, I remember every single one of them. It was the administrator group. As soon as they got into the hallway, and you were the aggressor, and you had a pistol, all of them shaking, just completely shaking. And then they had me and Dusty and Travis, and I was standing right next to him, and I was like, "Hey, calm down, breathe, aim, do what you're supposed to do. Okay, he's down. Now what? I don't need to amp it up for you. I can already see you shaking.
Yeah.
But we need to train that and just have you push through. And it sounds so cliche, but remember your training. Remember what we just taught you. Don't forget it. I've been there where I've thrown it all out the window. As soon as that timer is like, all right, we're going to hit the house, there's 4 dudes inside. I'm like,
where are we? Who are you? Who am I?
I was trying to hit the safety. I hit the eject button. The mag button. What is going on? What?
Yeah.
So
dude.
That was when we first started. So
yeah,
it's a humbling experience, is what I'll leave.
Very.
It is.
Very.
Big humbling experience.
Golly, yeah, we're very thankful. And SRT 1, 2, and 3, come talk to us. Wilco Training Solutions LLC, wilcotraining.com. Dusty, anything before we close out here, before they kicks us off?
No, man. I appreciate the conversation.
Absolutely. Nate, likewise. Anything?
No, sorry I had to do it in my car. But
hey, that's all right.
We make it happen.
No worries, dude. Anywhere, anytime, any backdrop. I'm, as always, I'm thankful for you guys to provide your perspective, gentlemen, and we'll be doing another one here in a week or so. So thank you, gents. We'll talk to you later.
See you guys.